We'll start you off with some ESS action as you see Jeff Trombley go up and over the wall in turn number 4. He would be okay, but as we move to the feature event, as Mike Fowl for Bobco Video gets things started up into turn number 1 and 2, it would be Warren Allison out at the front of the field, but Danny Varon not going to take very long as he would take the lead away in that number 00 machine through turn number 3 and 4. Keith Granholm would bring out the caution up in turn number 2 as he goes up and over on the side up off the corner. As you see officials getting to him, he would be okay as well. But as we would resume racing action out onto the speedway, Corey Sparks would be on the move as he's going to try to go by Jonathan Pressman up on the inside lane through 3 and 4. Looking to take the position away. He'll grab that and try to set his sights on Coley Giovanni for spot number 2. As that happens, Preston going to work his way up on the outside to Josh Panizik down the back straightaway as he fights for position as well, headed into 3 and 4. As that happens, Sparks right on the back bumper of the 10 machine as he works his way down the back straightaway. As they both go through lap traffic through the corner, the one of Sparks going to power it up on the outside lane, looking to get by the 10 of Coley Giovanni. But Coley Giovanni, who's had some very impressive runs on every front lately, holding on to that position for now. But Danny Varon way out in front picks up the win in the Empire Super Sprint feature event at the Track of Champions. To the modified feature event now. Sean Pangman going to lead the field to the green in the feature event, working its way up into turn number 1 and 2. He would be your early race leader as they work their way down the back straightaway. Jesse Mueller drives into the quarter panel of Bobby Varon, and that starts a huge chain reaction down the back straightaway. Craig Hansen involved, Jeremy Wilder involved down the back straightaway as well, as that would bring yellow out for the first time in the event. Off of the restart, Pangman would assume control of the feature event. Justin Bowler there on the outside. Ronnie Johnson looking to make a move as Jimmy Davis gets caught up on the outside. As there goes Tim Fuller and Mike Maresca sneaking right by. Ronnie going to come in there as well, as the caution will come out for Maresca here just 4 laps into the books in that number 7 machine. Off the restart, Stuart Friesen started the day out in Michigan, picked up a 13th place finish in the Truck Series race, and now trying to get by the number 1 RJ of Ronnie Johnson for the number 4 spot on the inside lane as we continue to move to the mid portion of this feature event. Timmy Fuller right there right behind him as well. Up through the corner as Pangman continued to lead, and Stewie's going to switch lanes. He'll go to the outside that time. We'll get by Ronnie for position up off at turn number 2 as they work their way down the back straightaway. As that happens, Stewie going to pick off another one. He would get by Justin Bowler for position down the back straightaway and into turn number 3 and 4. Then go to work on Scott Huber for the number 2 spot, as Pangman's right there holding on to the race lead for the time being. But he knows he's got some pressure coming, and Stewie was on the move in this one. He would get by the 51 of Huber and then go to work on Sean Pangman down the front straightaway. And you know with Stewie, it's not going to be long. The Harmar International car number 44 machine slides up into the number 1 spot. Up off at turn number 2, nosing out ahead of the 34 machine. Pangman didn't go down without a fight, but just delayed the inevitable as here comes Stuart Friesen working it off the corner, flat to the mat off at turn number 4. As he would eventually get by the 34 machine of Sean Pangman, just getting a little bit higher off at turn number 4, and he would take the race lead away with just a handful of laps to go in this modified feature event. As I mentioned, Friesen started the day in Michigan, ended the day with a Fonda victory as he picks up the win. Sean Pangman would end up holding on for the number 2 spot, and Scott Huber right there as well. Up off of the Pro Stock feature event, things get a little wild up toward the front. Ivan Josling going to take the race lead. Here's Jimmy Normoyle pushing his way down on the inside lane, working it into turn number 3 and 4. Gus Hallner going to look to follow as he would work his way on the inside as well. But Normoyle wasted no time trying to run down that 49 of Ivan Joslin down the front straightaway, or 94 rather of Ivan Joslin, that is, up through turn number 1 and 2 as he would continue to lead this one off the corner as caution will come out. Right front flat tire on the 27 of Nick Stone, working down the front straightaway and some damage as well. And as that happens, Ivan Joslin has to pull off the racing surface down the back straightaway, which would set up a totally new restart with the 7 of Jim Normoyle out at the front of the field. Frankie Twing up on the top side, working it around. Kenny Gates up off at turn number 4, trying to take the race lead down the front straightaway as well, but Normoyle shutting the door up through turn number 1 and 2 that time, as the 7 machine really working it off the corner. Down the front straightaway they go as Frank Twing would win this battle, moving up into the number 2 spot on the outside lane as the Wild Twing looked like he had something for everybody up off the corner. Here's Kenny Gates and Josh Coonrad running behind them as the caution will come out once again, which would regroup the field. And off in this restart, it would be Normoyle trying to go away, but as this happens, Chucky Domblewski gets together. Jay Casey involved as well down the front straightaway in that 322 machine. So we're going to re-rack him and do it again. That's going to give Racing Jason Casey a spot to get by 35 of Kenny Gates up into turn number 1 and 2. He'd take the outside lane and then go to work on the 317 of Frankie Twing, looking for that number 2 spot as they go down through the short chute and past the Cow Palace up off of turn number 4. The 324 would take that runner-up spot away. Gates looking to follow on the inside to try to take that position as well down the front stretch with just a handful of laps to go. And then Gates would get a little bit of a move on the inside lane. He'd take position. Gus Hallner going to work his way back in. He'd get by Frank Twing down the back straightaway. Great battle, but all behind Jimmy Normoyle as he picks up the win in the Pro Stock feature event at the Track of Champions. To the Lebanon Valley Speedway now, small block modifying action. Sean Mandel and Ryan Shartland up on the front row of the 24-lap feature event. That 66 of Mandel looking for his first career small block modifying feature event win. Up through turn number 1 and 2 for the first time, and he would push it through the middle of the field and take the early race lead. Demetrius Trellis on the move. He's going to get by Brian McGuire. A little bit of chain reaction after Hefner gets by Davis, and then Ray Hall Jr. hooks onto the back bumper of the 55 of Brett Haas up in turn number 1 and 2. Field gets a little out of shape through turn number 3 and 4. A ton of cars nowhere to go. Tremont narrowly gets by Hall Jr., Timothy Davis, and Brandon Pitcher right there as well, as that brings out the caution once again. J.R. Hefner and Demetrius Trellis, they finished 1-2 in the King Edward Small Block feature event at the Valley a few weeks ago. They're looking to get by Mandel along with Frank Horde III, who's up there. Kenny Tremont trying to push his way up. Frankie Harper says, no, I don't think so. That's my spot. You're not getting it, thank you. Up off the corner, but here comes the battle again as J.R. Hefner going to sneak right by Ryan Shartland to take that number 3 spot away. And this is just in the first 8 laps of the event. What a great battle was going on as Frank Horde III driving on the inside of Sean Mandel, really pushing him for the position off the corner. But Mandel would hold on to the race lead using that preferred outside lane up into turn number 1 and 2. 8 laps still in the books in this feature event as the field would catch the top guys up off the corner, and J.R. Hefner working the inside of Frank Horde III that time. Horde, as he does that, splits the middle in what was a great move to try to get by Mandel, trying to use his momentum on the inside lane, but Mandel continuing to just be too strong on outside of the corner as the 66P doing a great job at the front, looking for that first career win. Caution would come out for the 72 of Ray Hall Jr. up into turn number 2, as now the 74 Hefner trying to get by Mandel, but then the rains would come and they come quick. Cars having trouble. Horde would have to go up and over. A tough break for the 13 machine. That would make the race official with Sean Mandel picking up his first career win in the event. All the rest of Lebanon Valley's events will be postponed to a later date. Limited sportsman action at the Glen Ridge Motorsports Park as Bill August would take the early race lead in the Electric City Taxi car number 50 machine. He'd work his way up through turn number 1 and 2. He'd be your race leader as the field would bring it down. Here's Marty Kelly III up on the outside lane looking to make it stick through the corner as car goes around. And there's a chain reaction. You know how this usually works. Up through turn number 1 and 2 as that brings the yellow out in the speedway. That'll put Vinny Visconti up on the outside lane. He's going to try to go to the race lead and get by August up off at turn number 1 and 2. He would take that position away, working it down the back straightaway. August right there trying to push to the quarter panel of the inside of the number 9 machine, but Visconti would be your race leader as they come down. Meanwhile, hard hip check up into turn number 1 and 2, and oh boy, this one be sent around. Yellow will come back out onto the speedway once again for a number of cars up in the corner. Visconti and August going to look to refire down the front straightaway as August in that number 50 machine powers it up to the top side. They'll retake the lead away from Visconti down the back straightaway as they bring him down into turn number 3 and 4. And August, he would go on to pick up the win in this one as he takes the checkered flag. To the crate modified division now, Jim Introne would take the early race lead. Something would go wrong on the machine though. Whitey Slavin right there, he'd get sent around. A lot of cars nowhere to go in this one as that would bring out the yellow flag. Lunchbox Chad Edwards involved right behind him as well as that brings out the caution. Up off the restart, Curtis Owenshell would maintain the race lead, and oh boy, this got a little hairy as Slavin would go around after getting tagged by the 76 machine up down the front straightaway, and that sends another parking lot party on the front straightaway. Jamike Soul involved, Kenny Conroy in there as well. Dave Constantino, Chris Curtis, as the field would regroup. Brian Calabrese would be your new race leader as now Jeremy Pitts tries to push to the inside lane of him down the back straightaway in that Grand Project Services car number 27. They go side by side up off at turn number 3 and 4 as this 27 of Pitts going to power down to the inside lane. He'd hold on to that number 1 spot, but Calabrese working hard on the outside would take that position back away up through turn number 1 and 2. Top 4 going to go single file now as Calabrese would hold on, and oh boy, talk about holding on. Yellow will come out onto the speedway once again as we would have to regroup the field. Calabrese out in the front. Here comes Pitts up on the outside lane, looking to make it stick on the corner as he brings it off on the exit. It would be Pitts back to the number 1 spot in this one as he would get by Calabrese for position. Calabrese trying to battle back, but wouldn't be enough as Jeremy Pitts picks up the win out at the Ridge. Rookie Sportsman at the Orange County Fair Speedway, and oh baby, what a hard hit up into turn number 1 and 2, as that might have been the theme of this event, a very hard hit early, and we get things going once again up at the front of the field in this one, and that would continue as they work their way down the back stretch. Ronnie Lott's going to be your leader down the back straightaway as the field trying to work its way up, and as I mentioned, a few more hits going around. Another car goes around up in turn number 1 and 2, and I'm going to say that's not Brett Hearn. Just going to throw that out of the way, either that 20 that just went by. As the field will continue to work its way, it's halfway. Now some more trouble. Car almost goes up and over through to turn number 1 and 2, and whew. Guys getting valuable seat time here in this one as Lott's still at the front of the field in this one, trying to hold off some challenges up through turn number 1 and 2. That time and down the back straightaway, but they weren't touching him. He picks up the victory in the Rookie Sportsman. Congratulations to him as we move on to the regularly scheduled Sportsman event. RJ Smith going to lead the field up into turn number 1 and 2, and here comes some more trouble. Field working it up into the corner and nowhere to go. A couple cars on the outside lane would slow the field down in the early going of this feature event. As we went back to green flag racing with Smith up at the front, here's Leo Fotopoulos working his way on the top side, trying to get by Jimmy Johnson for position. And as that happens, Jesse Leiby trying to go back-to-back on a slide to the inside. He take the race lead away as they work their way down up into turn number 1 and 2. So Leiby would be your new race leader. Caution would re-rack the field, and this time Smith gets caught up a little bit. Doesn't go. Leiby's going to go, and well, chain reaction, front straightaway, Orange County. You know how this is going to end, and it was not good. Matt Schultz going to be involved in this one, in that 24 machine as the field continuing to work. Fotopoulos going to move almost into the top 5 this time down the front straightaway as Austin Smith goes to the outside, and it's almost like the throttle keeps rolling. He goes up in the inside of the Jersey barrier, keeps going. It'll come to a stop right where that tire is. A tough break for the number 14 machine. Meanwhile, in this one, as we go back to green flag racing, keep an eye now as Fotopoulos working on the top side. Little bit of bumping and banging down the back stretch. Jimmy Johnson going to sneak by in that 77 machine down the back straightaway, but it's all for naught. Jesse Leiby way up at the front of the field. He's going to hold on and pick up another Sportsman feature event victory down at the Orange County Fair Speedway. To the modified feature event now, the Sparta Trucking, car number 28 of Jimmy Spellman, going to take the early race lead up into turn number 1 and 2. Things looking to get hairy early as Ferrier working his way up on the outside lane. He'll get by Jerry Higby down the back straightaway for position. Brandon Finley right there with Richie Urich down the back stretch as they fight for position as well. All this while Jimmy Spellman continues to get away from the field as he was trying to run away and hide, as Jerry Higby would work his way up trying to get by Richie Urich now for the number 3 spot up through turn number 1 and 2. And boy, was that 97 fast up off the corner. Urich going to hold him off as the yellow will come out onto the speedway. For the 43 of Jimmy Horton, the point leader, having a little bit of trouble up through turn number 1 and 2. He would slow as this would reset the field once again. Things get a little dicey coming down the front stretch as Ferrier and Meyer come together, but it would be Higby keeping all that number 3 spot up off through turn number 1 and 2, as meanwhile Meyer would get by with a couple positions down the back straightaway as they would fight for position. Ferrier would get by as they're all trying to get by Matt Janiak. Meanwhile, Chris Schultz would have trouble up through turn number 2 as a tough break for the 24 machine. Meanwhile, Spellman would still have the race lead off of the restart, but Urich would give this way to the 97 of Jerry Higby down the back straightaway as Higby trying to chase down Spellman. This time he works up on the outside as they drag race toward the front. Tommy Meyer going to get involved in that 33 and a third as well, as Higby trying it up on the top side. Nope, he's going to try the low side instead, and it sticks down into turn number 3 and 4. New race leader, the number 97 of Jerry Higby. Higby going to bring him down up off of turn number 3 and 4 as he continues to lead this feature event. Wins the drag race down the front straightaway as he would go on to pick up a huge win in this one with Tommy Meyer coming across the line in spot number 2. Out to the Albany-Saratoga Speedway we go. First of 2 limited Sportsman feature events on the grid is Scott Bennett Jr. looking to take home this first one, but he's got Paolo Pasquarello right on his back bumper. The Tremont Doherty brothers, car number 21 machine, going to power it down the back straightaway. He would look to take the number 1 spot away up through turn number 3 and 4 as they bring him off of the corner. Pasquarello brings it down the front straightaway. He would be your new race leader up into turn number 1 and 2 that time, with Bennett trying to run down on the inside. Meanwhile, battle behind him, Ronnie Birch and the 4 of Derek Bourne going to go side by side down into turn number 3 and 4. They fight for that number 2 spot, or 3 spot rather, off the corner as they come off again. And meanwhile, Bourne just drives right into the side of the 1 of Bennett up off at turn number 2, sending him up over the banking as they work down the back straightaway. A tough break for the number 1 as the 21 machine comes off at turn number 4, and it would be Paolo Pasquarella picking up the win. Into the nightcap, it would be Scott Bennett Jr. hanging on to everything he could down the back straightaway as he was your race leader, having a little bit of trouble. But as that happens, cars get together in turn number 4, and as soon as Mike Block passes him, he goes around off the corner. Bennett would get the lead right back as he would keep it rolling up off the corner off of the restart. He would fire and give a little love tap back to Bourne up off at turn number 4, and he would be gone up on the outside lane as Bennett looking to continue to have this one up off at turn number 2. He'd bring it through turn number 3 and 4 for the final time. One more shot for Bourne, but engine number 4 wasn't getting it done tonight. It would be Scott Bennett picking up the win in a limited sportsman. To the Pro Stock feature event now, Nick Arnold would lead the field to the green in the 25-lap event that was going to be a doozy out here onto the speedway, as Arnold would unfortunately have early race trouble down the front straightaway as that would hand the lead off. And as they work their way down the front, or backstretch rather, here comes Kim Duell trying to push his way past Dan Older, trying to catch Kenny Martin as well. Cousin Luke Horning up on the inside would get by the 93 machine of Martin up off at turn number 2 as Cousin Luke looking for a big feature event win out here on the Great Race Place. As this happens, Cousin Luke still trying to go to the front. He would get by Jeff Washburn up through turn number 3 and 4. And he looked to have this one in control until he makes contact with the implement tire and Matt Roberts right front flat tire on the 2H machine, which would give the lead back off at turn number 3 and 4. And oh boy, this was going to make things interesting before this one was all said and done. A tough break for the 2H. 97 Dan Older would go around up through turn number 3 and 4, and off the restart, Kenny Martin going to look to take the lead back from Jeff Washburn up through turn number 1 and 2. Kim Duell in that Curtis Lumberwagon says, I'm going with you as well down the back straightaway. So he would work his way up into turn number 3 and 4. The 93 machine up on the outside, Duell on the inside. Final time up through turn number 3 and 4. It's going to come down to the wire as they get to Richie Peterson flag stand at the line. Kim Duell picks up the victory. Kim Duell with a big win in that number 14 machine as the checkers come out. Meanwhile, up to the modified feature, Ricky Davis gets out a little out of shape through turn number 1 and 2. Mark Johnson nowhere to go. Gets into him. Ronnie Johnson there as well, as that would be a tough break for the 3J, as that may effectively end the championship hopes for the White Knight to try to defend for 2017. Brett Hearn also involved in that number 20 machine as well, up off at turn number 2, and now keep an eye on the Ravina Rocket. Keith Flack, he's 3 wide with Bodie Bellinger and the 816 Jeff Rockefeller up through turn number 3 and 4 as he would slide up the banking just a little bit off the corner, and down off at turn number 2 they go. The 97 of Bobby Hackle trying to hold on with the 111 of Demetrius Strolls right there in tow. The 19 of Jesse Mueller and the 17 of Elmo Reckner right there looking to take the lead away. But Hackle would hold on to the position as the caution will come out for Brett Hearn, who was tagged around up in turn number 2. Down the back straightaway they go. Neil Stratton up on the inside lane looking to make something happen. Kenny Tremont backs out of a situation up through turn number 4. But Bobby Hackle still holding on to the race lead off of the corner, and he's got some pressure coming as here comes Jesse Mueller and the 111 of Demetrius Strellis. Oh yeah, and that Rocket guy. Here comes Keith Flack working it up into the middle of the racetrack, trying to get by Jesse Mueller. Goes by him down the back straightaway to take spot number 3 away. Now goes to work on Demetrius Strolls for the runner-up position up through turn number 4. As this happens, Hackle still leading this one. Miscues a little bit off of the cushion. That allows Keith Flack and Trellis to get by, and Keith Flack would be your new race leader down the back straightaway in that 43 machine. Flack going to bring him off with turn number 3 and 4. He's got Trellis right there in tow. Flack out at the front, though, looking for his first career 35-lap feature event win off at turn number 3 and 4, and the Ravina Rocket would get it done as Keith Flack picks up the win out at Albany, Saratoga. That'll do it for this week's episode of Quick Time. A special thanks goes out to sponsors at the Flack Companies, Cannon Auto Supply, La Rochelle Auto Body and Restoration, Cranes Outdoor Power Equipment, Tom Sabin, and Bobco Media. I'm Mike Warren. We'll see you next time at the races.